So yeah, as you know, I just said I'm going to be making a chocolate cake today. It is going to be delicious. It is going to be the ultimate quick and easy birthday cake kind of style thing. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to bake it, so I've got a here's what I made earlier kind of thing that's going to be going on. But hopefully you're going to love it, and I will be sharing the recipe this week actually, so that you can make it yourself and enjoy it. But yeah, this is the secret ingredient today. Now, La Española is something that I've actually only very recently made, like used in baking. Like before now, I've always used this olive oil. This is the extra virgin olive oil. I've always used it, but sort of in my cooking. So when I'm making like a paella, or if I'm making pasta dishes, or I'm making anything pretty much, I love to just drizzle a bit of this in. I like to cook with it. But I thought, why not try it in baking? Because, you know, it's just the sort of thing, you know, I love my baking, so I thought I love an oily cake. An oil-based cake is so nice and moist. I know lots of people don't like the word moist, but I love the word moist when it comes to a cake because it means it's really nice and, you know, it's not dry. And when we talk about gluten-free cakes, so often they're dry. So this is a way of making it not dry. So good things about La Española is that it's basically, it's a Spanish olive oil, and it's made from entirely Spanish olives. So we're not talking about olives just from wherever, all over the world, which is what so many olive oils are based on. They're just all different countries all put together. This is all Spanish olives, and that just means that we know sort of where it's come from, and we know the quality, and I mean, that's a good thing, isn't it? We want good quality ingredients when we're making stuff. I can actually see that we've got quite a few people chatting and talking and viewing now, so oh, thank you very much, Vampire D Gin, thank you. Oh, and Mark's here. Mark is my boyfriend. He's obviously watching just for the support, because obviously I am quite the introvert and I'm not that good at talking to the camera. But I really wanted to do this today because I feel like I should do more things like this, and I wanted to just show you how good this can be. So, let's, shall we get started? Or, yeah, let's get started. So, I've got all my ingredients out in front of me, and I'm going to tilt the camera down because I don't have the best setup here. I haven't got the best kitchen in the world. I don't have like a nice island or anything. I'm just sitting at my kitchen table, and baking while sitting down is not ideal. So, I'm going to tilt the camera so that you can see everything. You can see my lovely olive oil, and you can see all my other ingredients. And obviously, I don't know if I've even said, but this is a gluten-free chocolate cake. It's a gluten-free chocolate olive oil cake, and it's going to be beautiful. And yeah, I've got one over there that I'm going to show you. But let me just tilt this down, and you probably won't see my face much now. There we go. Shall I sit down? Shall I stand up? I feel like I should bake standing up today. Another good thing about this cake, I feel like I should do that. Another good thing about this cake is I'm going to make it entirely without any sort of electric mixer or a stand mixer. I can make it all by hand, which is perfect because it means you don't need as much things. So let's get started, and I'll tell you, this is hilarious, I'll tell you a little bit about the olive oil and stuff as we go along. But firstly, dry ingredients. So let's move the chair out the way. You see, I'm not a pro at this, but we've got our bowl here. We're gonna add in some gluten-free plain flour. There we go. And that is just a nice blend of flours. It's just a supermarket commercial brand one, which I really, really like using. Then I've got my xanthan gum. So this is an ingredient that you'll see that I use a lot in cakes. And it just replicates gluten quite a lot. So you really need a tiny amount of this. So if you don't know anything about xanthan gum, literally, this is as much as you'll need. It's about a 1/4 teaspoon, and it just helps to give it a lovely sort of texture that isn't dry and crumbly. It makes it like a gluten cake. So then my next ingredient that I have got here, I've got 2 ingredients here. So I've measured these all out in advance so that I don't mess up. So we've got baking powder and we've got bicarbonate of soda, just a teaspoon of each. So we're going to add that in there. Always make sure it's all in. Next ingredient, I love having these all done in front of me. We've got cocoa powder, so just a really good quality cocoa powder if you can. And also another thing about using cocoa powder in anything, always sieve it, because if you don't, you'll find that it just clumps up when you add other stuff to it. So as you can see here, mine is nicely sieved or sifted. I never know how to say that, but my grammar's not great. But let's just add that in, try and get that all in. And then we're just gonna quickly mix it up with my lovely spatula that says baked with love, because everything I bake is with love. So let's just mix that and be prepared for a lot of mess, because when I'm trying to concentrate on talking at the same time as baking, things get a bit messy. But so you can see I've just mixed it all together. There you go. It doesn't have to be done really well or anything. Nothing does when it comes to baking. You just sort of, I mean, nothing, I say nothing has to be done well. It does have to be done well, but it's simple. And all my bakes I make are always really simple. So next I'm gonna add in some brown sugar. So this is light brown sugar. If you don't, I always say this with sugar, I often use 2 sugars. This is caster and this is light brown. If you don't have light brown, you can use dark brown. If you don't have any brown sugar, you could use all caster. If you don't have caster, you could probably use granulated. So, you know, you can use whatever you've got. So I'll put this in here. Let's get that all in. And then I've got my sugar. Mix this up. Oh, it's not all gone out. See, this is the problem when you're doing it like this. I'm not concentrating. You need to get all that sugar out. Don't let any of it stick to your bowl. It's because I washed my bowls and they're a bit damp. Wash them to make them nice and clean for you guys so that you don't see any dirty bowls. Not that my bowls are ever dirty, though I say that. But so there we go. We've got really nice dry sort of mixture there. Everything's in there. All the really, I say all the really nice flavours, but all the nice dry flavours. But we've got some really good wet flavours, which is where the magic happens with the olive oil and stuff. And also with La Española, actually, they do actually lots of different types of olive oil. So I've got the extra virgin here because I think personally it works the best in baking. It's got a lovely flavour and you can actually taste it, but not in an overpowering way. But they've also just got a standard olive oil and they've got a really good one, trust me, really good, that you definitely need to get, and it's a truffle olive oil, which I absolutely love. But that wouldn't be so good in a cake. That would be better with your savoury food, like drizzled on something, or you know, you can even dip really nice crusty bread in it. And when I'm saying really nice crusty bread, I'm saying gluten-free crusty bread. And when I'm saying gluten-free crusty bread, I'm saying, if you didn't know, I've got a new book out actually, and it's got really good bread recipes in it. So definitely go and check that out. Pretty sure I'm not supposed to be plugging my own book with this, but why not? Because lots of my recipes, I've got some great recipes that use oil in them, like a really great carrot cake, and this would be actually perfect. But I'm going off on a tangent. I've actually got some questions and stuff here in the chat. Oh, people are just always being really nice. Okay, instead of using plain flour and xanthan gum, can I use self-raising flour? Yes, you can, but I always find with a really fudgy chocolate cake like this that a plain flour works a little bit better, just because I think it's a bit more sturdy, and I think you can, the reason that I then use raising agents myself, like baking powder and bicarb, is that I can then balance it out to make it just the right amount of rise, rather than sort of just letting the self-raising flour do its thing. But you definitely can. So yeah, that's my dry stuff that you can sit and mixing for far too long. You don't need to mix it for that long. It's just because I can't do 2 things at once. So let's switch our bowls and let's get this bowl, which is a slightly smaller one, because this is just for mixing all our dry ingredient, or wet ingredients even, and then adding them to that big old bowl. And then we're basically done. I'm going too fast here, aren't I? So I am going to firstly start with these lovely eggs. These are large eggs in the UK, which if you didn't know, a large egg in the UK is very different to a large egg in like America or in Australia. We all have different size eggs. Our chickens all lay different eggs and we categorise them slightly differently. So always check if you're in a different part of the world. When I say large, I mean UK large. But you can have a look at egg conversion charts and stuff. I've got one in the back of my book, which is really handy. So I'll crack those all in. There we go. And then what's the next ingredient? I've got eggy hands. 1 second, I'm just gonna wipe my hands. Where's my tea towel? There we go. You can see my kitchen there. So I've got my 3 eggs here, and my next ingredient that I'm gonna add is actually some buttermilk. So this is shop bought buttermilk, but most of the time I thought I'd be like better today and buy shop bought buttermilk for this. But you can make your own buttermilk, and you do that just by getting some milk and adding some lemon juice to it, mixing it together and leaving it for about 10 minutes, and you've got buttermilk. So you don't need to buy buttermilk itself, you can make your own. I always think that's much easier because you don't want to have this in the fridge and then it go off and you wasted it because you bought it just for the hell of it. And then you never got round to making that chocolate cake. Although I'm going to be sharing this recipe, so you better make it because it's good. And I'm sure loads of you have things that you know, at the moment with lockdown and everything, we need things to celebrate. We don't need a reason to bake cake. So I think this cake is something that you should probably just bake because we're in the middle of March, and why not? Because, you know, that's life. So I've got a bit of vanilla extract here, which you might think's a bit random adding to a chocolate cake. You've got the chocolate, but I really like the combination of flavours. And then almost our final ingredient is this, our olive oil. So I have made it look really nice. I measured it out properly in this jar, but I will actually say that not that this is useful for the baking side of things, but for just general cooking, this has the best lid in the whole entire world. It's got one of these like nice pouring lids, so if you were drizzling it on stuff, it works so well, and I don't know, I just really liked it. Whenever I open this bottle, I'm just like, that is the lid. And if you ever end up, because it's sold out or something, buy another oil, you're just disappointed because this just feels like good quality. I shouldn't be going on about lids and stuff, should I? But it's a good one. So I'm just going to add this. You can see it's got a lovely colour to it, and it really does have a really nice distinctive flavour. So I'm going to add it now. Actually, this olive oil has been rated the best Spanish olive oil in the UK for the last 2 years, and trust me, I can tell why from whenever I use it. It's just really good, and I think it's in like the top 5 olive oils overall in the UK at the moment. And you know, you want the best when you're baking. You want to use the best because you want a good cake. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I'm actually just whisking this. I'm using a hand whisk for this, just whisking it together so it's nicely combined, and I can actually smell that olive oil as I whisk. It smells great. Although I'm making a chocolate cake, it really just makes me want to have a slice of like crusty bread with some olive oil, just dipping. So I'm probably going to have that for my lunch after this. So there we go. And I will link after this, I didn't have time before, but I will link in the description, and for people who are watching it later, it will already be there, just links to where you can buy this olive oil, and where you can buy other ones, and also to something really cool that they have. They have a really it sounds really silly, but you can track where your olive oil has actually come from, like literally track it to where it was made, and you can do that on their website. I'll link it, but you just use the barcode and it shows you, and I love being able to see things like that. It's like I love when I buy products and it says made by John or something. It just feels very nice and authentic, and you know that it's what it says it is. So I'll link that in the description after this. But ooh, I can see a little bit of olive oil left in here. Let's pour it in. Right, there we go. So give it a last mix, and what we're going to do, we're just going to add this into this. So just tip it in. I'm going to make a little well in the middle, and I'm going to just be folding this in. And at first it feels like nothing's going to really happen. It's going to feel like it's getting lumpy, but you know, it will work, trust me. I've just flicked loads of the mixture out. Try not to do that because we've measured this properly. But let's just tip this in. This lovely colour. As I said, I made an amazing lemon drizzle tray bake that I put on my Instagram. So if you haven't checked it out, it's at Becky Excell on Instagram. Go and check that out because I put it up last night, and honestly, I don't know why I didn't make that, to be fair, because It is great, and it was so good with the olive oil, but I thought, you know, what's today? It's Tuesday. Feels like a chocolate Tuesday, doesn't it? So I'm just folding this in really nicely. There we go. And yeah, at the moment, looks a bit of a mess. And you could say, why aren't you using an electric mixer? For one, I don't have a plug close by, so that would not be ideal because I haven't got electricity close to me on this table, but I wouldn't use one anyway because you don't need to. You just need to really give it a lot of folding. You don't want to overmix it, but at the same time, you don't want to get pockets of flour because what you'll end up doing is pouring this into your tin once you're ready, and you'll suddenly find a huge pocket of flour. And that's because this is quite a big mixture. So, in terms of folding as well, because I see, please enlighten me on your folding technique. Yeah, if you don't know how to fold, this was something that I was taught as a little girl. You do a figure of 8. Kind of a figure of 8. Now I look at it, it doesn't feel like a figure of 8, but it is. And I'm actually getting quite hot. It's a really nice sunny day outside for once. We've had really rubbish weather recently, but it is lovely today and the sun is shining. So I'm getting a bit warm doing this. But just keep mixing it through. I'm making sure I mix it because, like, I just got a little more pocket of flour there, you see? So I just need to make sure that it's completely mixed. And doesn't this just look like the most amazing chocolate mixture? There we go. So, just finish it off. Oh, I just dripped some down the bowl, oh no. But we've got one final ingredient, which I'll show you. We've got hot water. Now you might think it looks like the perfect amount and the perfect consistency, which, yeah, I'd agree, but this just takes it to another level. I'm just using hot water today, but you could add a little bit of coffee to this, and trust me, it doesn't taste like coffee, but it just enhances the chocolate flavour. I just couldn't find my coffee. We're not coffee drinkers, so I couldn't find it today. But usually I would add a little bit of coffee, but hot water works really, really well. So I'm just going to tip this in. I'm going to do it a bit gradually, just like that. Mix that in, and it looks like some sort of, it doesn't look pleasant. You know, I'm looking at it now, it doesn't look pleasant, but it is really, really worthwhile putting this in. Otherwise your cake will just dry out so much quicker, and you'll have a chocolate cake without the hot water, but you won't have a chocolate fudge cake. And what we want is a chocolate fudge cake. So just mix that in. Oh, make sure you guys, you give this video, or this live, a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate that. I'm only saying that because when I watch YouTube lives, people always say it, so I thought I would as well. Leave a comment and stuff. Just shows that you've been watching, and I'd super, super appreciate that. So I've added all my water in now. Looks awful, but trust me, it will look good soon. And this is like the last stage. The next stage is just to whack this into a tin. So I'm just gonna try and speed this up because otherwise we'll be here all day. And I'm sure the time that I'm doing this for the UK is it's lunchtime, isn't it? So we need to get going so that I can have my lunch, you can have your lunch. Although you might be having your lunch while you're watching this. There we go. Perfect. So it's all mixed in, all really nicely combined now. And people often say to me when they're making any of my chocolate fudge cakes, it's so liquidy, it's not like cake mixture, which, no, it's not. It's not a batter, it is pourable. This is how it should be. So, that's what we got. I'm gonna move a few things out of the way. Keep this in shot, obviously, because this is my baby today. This is great. But I've got my tin that I'm using. I will put a link, not a link to the tin, but I'll put the measurements below. So here we go. This is my tin, and you'll see that I use pegs. I use pegs to keep the non-stick baking paper in place because I think it just really, really helps. Otherwise you end up it going everywhere or coming out. Obviously remember to take them out before you put it in the oven, because if you don't, then you're gonna have like melted pegs, but I really like that. But yeah, the mixture is very runny, Karen, as I see you saying that. It's the runniest mixture of them all, a chocolate fudge cake. It should be like liquid, always. If it's not liquidy, then you've done something wrong. So what we're gonna do, try and get this over there without making a mess. We're literally just gonna pour this in. So pour this into here. And unfortunately, you're not going to see it baked, this particular one. I'm going to bake it myself. But it takes about 45-50 minutes in the oven at 160 degrees C fan. So we'll put that over there. Yeah, we've got lovely mixture here now. Oh, it's all just shiny and sparkling. So there we go. All done. And then I'm just going to pop this in the oven really, really quickly so that it's done. Maybe I'll post it on my Instagram story later to show you what it looks like when it's done. But I've also got one. I've got here's what I made earlier. But let's just take this over here. Sorry, you'll see my behind because I'm just going to put it in the oven, which I've preheated. There we go. Hello. So let's just put it in the oven. And right, I've looked at the time. I know I'm not going to forget because I'm not going to put a timer on because I'm not. But let me show you. Let me get my chair back and I'll show you the finished thing. So let's just bring this over. Right, so you might want to see what the finished article looks like. So when it comes out of the oven, let's you can see me now. Hello, sorry it's all bouncy. Obviously not a pro at this, am I? But when it comes out of the oven, leave it for probably quite a while. So leave it for at least a good half an hour to an hour to cool down because it's quite a soft cake, so you don't want to take it out of its like tin too soon because it will just break. So you can leave it in the tin, and whilst you're leaving it to cool, you can make some sort of icing, whatever you want. On these, you can see here. Oh my god, they're so nice and squidgy. On these, I put some little sprinkles on because it's a birthday cake style thing. But I've got a nice fudgy icing which I've made with some icing sugar, some cocoa powder. I've also added a bit of melted chocolate in there, and also I have added some butter. So I did put butter in this, but if you don't want to use butter, you can use a dairy-free alternative. And also you can just use a different type of frosting that doesn't have any butter. If you want to use an oil-based frosting, let me know, and I can share some of those with you. God, I can't see. So yeah, this is the chocolate cake. I just spread that all over it, and it's so moist. It's squidgy, it's delicious. It smells great, and I think what I liked and why I did sort of a sheet cake with this recipe was, I say sheet cake, in the US people tend to call it sheet cake. What do you call it? I call them Traybakes, but I'm not from America. I just keep saying sheet cake, but sheet cake kind of makes sense because it's just one sheet of cake. So I think maybe we should take on that name for it instead of a Traybake. A Traybake's like a brownie or a blondie. This is a cake. So this is a sheet cake. And yeah, I think it's just the perfect thing for birthdays because you can just pour it all in, and then you don't have to do all this fancy sort of icing like a drip cake or, you know, anything like that. You can just slap the icing on. You don't have to be super good at your decorating because I certainly am not. You just slap it on, put a few sprinkles on like I have, and then you're done. And these sprinkles actually are amazing. They're like a funfetti sprinkle, which also, if you were using them in a different sort of cake, they're the sort that would make a really nice funfetti cake with all the speckles. They're like a bake stable sprinkle, so for other cakes, if you're ever making them, and you want like the little specks of colour in them, then you want to get bake stable ones like these. So yeah, let's have a look at your questions. Ooh, someone's currently got my cookie dough skillet in the oven. Amazing. People call them tray bakes. Yeah, I think that's what us lot in the UK call them, but I don't know where everyone's from. I think the timing that I'm doing this, you'll mainly be UK people, right? Because I think the US are probably only just waking up. I don't know. But how long does it go in the oven for? I think I said how long it goes in the oven for. It goes in the oven for around 45 to 50 minutes, but check it after 45. If it's still really wobbly, then leave it in, and you could probably leave it in for up to an hour. And if you feel that maybe it doesn't feel quite done, put a skewer in. If it comes out clean, it's done. If it doesn't, then what you can do is you can just cover the top with foil, make sure it's shiny side up. I'm sorry that I've got chocolate all over my hands, but this is just baking. This is real baking. We're not perfect here. We don't all look perfect in fancy clothes whilst we bake. I did put this on purposefully so that you can't see that I have like chocolate over me. I thought I won't put a white top on. So often I wear a white top when I'm baking, and that top has to go. You know, it doesn't even come out in the wash, and I never wear it again. It's really annoying. But yeah, I've gone off on a tangent. Basically, if it's not cooked after a certain amount of time, just put foil over it till it's cooked. It will cook. And you might not believe me when I say that, but it will, because it just does. That liquid mixture makes this, makes that. Oh my God, look at my fingers. They look awful, don't they? Also, do you like my ring? It's like a little dog on a ring. But yeah, that is my cake. And that was made with this incredible olive oil, the Española olive oil that I absolutely love. You can use it in so many things. You can use it in your baking, you can use it in your cooking, you can use it in your drizzling of stuff on your starters or whatever else. I think it just kind of makes you feel like you're on holiday when you use this olive oil, and that's kind of what we want at the moment. We can't necessarily go on holiday yet, or for quite a while probably, especially abroad, but what we can do is enjoy really nice food at home, and really nice food at home makes us feel good, it makes us feel happy, and if we can get a little bit of Spain into our houses, then I'd say that's a pretty good thing. And I think the sunshine outside today is, you know, making that even more possible. I've seen someone said, love your kitchen. Oh, thank you very much. You know, this kitchen, we put it in ourselves, because when we got this house, we couldn't really afford to have someone put it in. So Mark did the kitchen. I helped a little bit. I'm not that technical, but I did help. So yeah, I guess I should probably go, because I'm not going to be able to show you the cake, but I really wanted to just show you how good these look. Look at that. I really, really wish that I could come around to everyone's house who's watched this, just to say thank you for watching and give you a piece of cake. It is a proper... Oh, I just wish you could hear the squidge. I don't know if you can hear it up close. Can you hear that? Probably not. But it's just the best chocolate cake. So I'm gonna love you and leave you, and that's it for now. I don't actually know how to turn off this this live, because I'm not good with these lives, so you might just see me sort of fiddling around on the screen for ages. But if you've got any questions, do let me know. If you've got any questions about other recipes, if you want to make the lemon drizzle tray bake that I make using this olive oil, then let me know, because I can sort that out for you. I can sort the recipes for both of these out, and you can be making them by the weekend. Wouldn't that be nice? If you can make this cake at the weekend. You saw how quick it was. I mixed it in sort of 10 minutes or so. Probably could do it quicker if I wasn't talking at the same time, because I can't do two things at once. And it's in the oven. Bish bash bosh. Done. So yeah, that's me. I'm Becky, as you know, because you're watching on my channel. And I really hope that you've enjoyed this. Definitely go and check out this amazing olive oil brand. You won't regret it. And I will see you very, very soon. If you want me to do more things like this, then please do let me know, because I'm more than happy to. I love just chatting to you. You're probably not even properly listening, but I really, really do like chatting to you. So I'll see you very soon. Let me just try and turn this off. I don't know how to. We might be here a while. We might be here a while. Oh, I think it's here. So yeah. I think I found it. I found the cross now. But lovely to meet you all, and I really hope you have a lovely, lovely day, whatever you're up to. If you're not having a good day, then I hope this has made you smile. If you're having a great day, I hope this has kept your spirits up. And yeah, there's always tomorrow if today's not been great. So I'll see you soon. Bye.